Yo, what is going on, guys? So we are finally back today for the Rank 3 6-star Magneto video. So I recorded this a little while ago before I did Variant 6 because I wanted to have Magneto at Rank 3 for it. So here you can see, take a look at my stash here. Got a lot of Tier 5 Basic in the Overflow, which is, so this rank up is really going to help to alleviate that. And you saw some Mutant Tier 4 class Catalysts in the Overflow, so you might be thinking like, oh wow, Lagacy's going to be able to get rid of those Catalysts that are in Overflow, right? And you couldn't be more wrong, dude. I literally opened every single Tier 4 class Catalyst crystal that I had, every single Tier 4 class Catalyst fragment crystal that I had, every single map 6, map 7 crystal, just any crystal that could contain Tier 4 class Catalysts, I opened it in hopes of getting a Mutant Catalyst because I had like 11 or so. And to rank up like all the mutants that I want to rank up, I need like 40 something. So after opening up all those crystals, I was able to get the number up to 27 mutant tier 4 class catalyst crystals or class catalysts. So that's still very far away from like 40 whatever it actually is. So yeah, and the reason I need that many is because I want to rank up Magneto, Apocalypse, Professor X, Gambit, Wolverine. I want to rank up all these champions, and they all require tier 4 class catalysts. So yeah, Magneto, he has first dibs on those catalysts for sure. I personally believe that Magneto is the best mutant in the game. There's been a lot of debate about this. It's between some people, most people I talk to, they say Omega's the best. But then there's some people who come out of nowhere and be like, hey, Colossus is the best mutant with a full synergy team. And I'm like, okay, maybe, but just I'm talking straight up, no synergies. I think Magneto's the best mutant in the game. Even Omega Red, you know, like the Sabretooth synergy is a bit of a crutch for him, which most people agree upon. But Magneto, man, what I love about him is he just, no synergies, you put him up against a metal champion, and he's gonna crush it. Like, literally, he crushes them into a ball in his L3. Like, it's so great, man. I was so happy when I saw this guy pop up in my Nexus. Oh, dude, so happy. I have so many good mutants, but Magneto's the only one I want to take to rank 3. Well, first, like him above everyone else. Like I have a Colossus, I have Apocalypse, I have Professor X, I have Gambit, but Magneto, he gets priority, man. I just think he's that good. Just so excited to get him, and I ranked him up here. And I'm gonna give him my Awakening Gem too. We're giving him the Mutant Awakening Gem, bro. Boom! Look at this, popping it right into Magneto. He doesn't need to be awakened, but his awakened ability is really awesome. It's really nice, and it can really save you in places like incursions, where you get to a point where they have like 800,000 health pools, like 40k attack, like one blocked hit, like non-parry blocked hit does like 3 to 5k damage. If you actually get hit, you'll just die. Like you're dead. It doesn't matter if it crits or not. You just die. But with Magneto's Awakened ability, you know, you can take a certain amount of hits and not die because it's a damage cap. So right there you see I actually have 6-star signature stones in the Overflow. So yeah, we're also gonna get rid of some of those by putting them into Magneto. It's Brian Grants. I hope you don't see that, man. Yeah, I just have too many 6-star signature stones. You know, I could use them all right now and raise my prestige, which I've kind of been thinking about doing. I'm like 3rd last in the Alliance currently, which isn't good. But I'm just kind of waiting for like the right champion to like put like 150 signature stones into right away. You know, that gets a great use out of the Awakened and all the 6 stones and has good prestige. I don't know. But yeah, that's Magneto to rank 3 and Awaken. Now let's do some fights, bro. So I got a ton of sick fights recorded. I got a couple of bosses in Act 6, and then a bunch of bosses in Act 7. So a bunch of endgame level bosses. For this video, I decided to just stick to story level bosses. So we're starting off with Iron Man Infinity War in Act 6. And then I'm thinking for future videos, I'm thinking about making a Labyrinth of Legends video, like exclusively, of just Magneto fights in Labyrinth. And then also an Abyss video of just Magneto crushing a bunch of Abyss fights. So let me drop a like on the video if you guys would like to see either of those, and let me know in the comments if there's any fight specifically that you would like to see me take on with this 6-star rank 3 Magneto. So We can also make Magneto a horseman, but I tried to. I have him as a horseman in a couple of fights. Only in a couple of fights. I was a little unsure about how good he would be in. But I tried to keep this just straight up Magneto as much as possible for this video, because when he's a horseman, it's just like Magneto really does not need to be a horseman. He already has a lot of abilities on his own that the horseman gives. It just makes him even better. So, but yeah, here we get the shrapnel, or we get the bleeds up here, and then as soon as they end, they're gonna turn to shrapnel bleeds, and he's just gonna drop. So yeah. Magneto, phenomenal counter to Iron Man Infinity War. I don't think he really triggered any of his passive armor ups because of the minus 70% ability accuracy. So the next fight I wanted to take him up against was the Mysterio. So this fight used to be, I thought it was the hardest boss in Act 6, for me anyways, to just like straight up solo at one time before it got nerfed. But I did end up soloing it with Human Torch, which was a lot of fun. But I figured, Magneto should be really good for this. So it's a little bit, the matchup against Mysterio is a little bit weird, because Mysterio cannot have his ability accuracy lowered, but he's metal. So you see he is magnetized, but I'm pretty sure how it works is, so he is metal, so we get all of our bonuses we would get with the magnet bonuses, and for him being magnetized, for example, like the 50% perfect block, the shrapnel bleeds, no cap on our prowess, like that sort of thing. However, I don't think the ability accuracy is in place, so all of his abilities are going to trigger. Like right here, the poison, it just triggers. I don't think there is a chance for it to not trigger, because we're not lowering his ability accuracy. So that poison does some damage to us, but a really cool thing about Magneto when he's fighting a metal champion, and it even works here, is he cannot miss, and I believe he also cannot be auto-blocked. So here, we have the tunnel vision falter on us, and that's just free willpower healing, man. That is free willpower healing. So we're just going to heal up from that, because that poison took us down quite a bit. And it doesn't matter if he uses his special 2, we can't miss. You can just see miss failed there. So we're good to go. I mean, and we have the falter on us anyway, so that's why it's trying to make us miss. But yeah, so as you can see, he's a really good option for it. This is my first time doing this fight. In hindsight, maybe I should have went for a big fat special 3. Probably could have killed him with one of them and the bleeds after. But you see, it is better to actually not push him to the special 2, because that power drained us, and this node does have Matador. So to really get off special attacks, we need to bait out the special 1s. And that's going to give us power without taking it away. We just have a bit of a window where we're unable to attack him, so that's slightly annoying. But yeah, man. Honestly, I think Magneto, like I said, I think he's the best mutant in the game, and I think he's going to be just so good for people progressing, like to try to become Cavalier, to push through all of Act 6, to push through into Act 7. Just any single metal champion, he's going to be a good option for, man. It's honestly crazy. Right there, unfortunately we didn't get the crit on that special 2, but still at 100k. And another really cool thing about Magneto is when he's fighting metal champs that are tech, he actually takes away their class advantage. So he takes away their bonus attack, and he takes away his lowered attack. So it's just, he just gets rid of class disadvantage, which is so nice, because a lot of the metal champions in this game are of the tech class. So right there you see we got hit a little bit, but with that signature ability, it's just a nice safety net to have, man. It's a really nice safety net to have. And we take that Magneto down. I think, like I said, in hindsight, it probably would have been better to go for the special 3, but a solo is a solo at the end of the day. So we got one more Act 6 fight here to go. It's Darkhawk. I was thinking about taking on the Grandmaster. If you guys would like to see me try to solo the Grandmaster with Magneto, let me know, again, down in the comments. One thing, though, Magneto's actually not immune to the Grandmaster's inverted control phase, unfortunately. I originally tested on the CCP beta, and I got shocked and died when I was doing it. But yeah, let me know if you guys would like to see that. But yeah, so here, Darkhawk, this guy was a bit of a pain when he first came out. I did solo him when he first came out with Torch, but Torch was really one of the only options. I think Quake was also an option, but there really wasn't that many good champs to counter this Darkhawk. But he's metal, So Magneto can counter him, bro. It's so great. And when we push him to the L2, and he drops into his, I don't remember what the phase is called, but we can't miss. We can't miss, so we don't have to worry about trying to wait out the phase or hope that our attacks land. It doesn't matter because we just can't miss because he's magnetized. Stealth mode, that's what it's called. So here you can see miss, failed, miss, failed, miss, failed. It's so great, man. And it's great because Magneto also has bleed resistance. It's 90% resistance, which is so huge. Like that's so huge for new accounts. Just having that bleed immunity. Like I would love a Magneto so much on Legs Jr. It would help tremendously if we had a Magneto. There's a lot of robots and just metal champions in the way to becoming Cavalier, like Crossbones, the Ultron boss, the Sentinel boss in 6.1. There's just so many champions that are metal in this game. I think 1/3 of the game is metal, and a lot of bosses are also metal. So it's just crazy, man. That's why I think Magneto is the best mutant. If you really think about it that way, for like a new account, like pulling an Omega Red would be cool on a new account, but you want Omega Red to be awakened, you want him to be high signature level. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Who you guys think is the best mutant? At the end there, you saw we hit for 17k. I don't know if that was a light or a medium, but yeah, we had a bunch of armor breaks stacked up because Darkhawk is bleed immune. So here we're gonna move on to some Act 7. So this was I uploaded this video separately a little while ago because it was one of the fastest Gwenperian kills in Act 7. So this Gwenperian has over 600,000 HP, and she also has selective time stream. So you basically have a certain window to kill her, or she heals to full. There's a couple of ways to get around it, but here we just straight up kill her with raw damage. It's crazy. So there's just a highlight from that video. But yeah, now we're going to jump into some more Act 7 fights. I think we got 4 bosses here. So starting off with the Green Goblin boss. This boss is just a little annoying with the one node because it drains your power. You're going to see that happen to me a couple of times. I'm not really able to get to my special 3. I was kind of trying to see if Magneto could turn the node off and still get to an L3, but it wasn't working. Maybe he could, maybe I got unlucky. I'm not entirely sure. But the L2s hit hard enough on their own. So yeah, we're going to build to that special 2. And yeah, also Magneto, when he's fighting against metal champions, he has 50% perfect block. That's what Morningstar gets after fully ramping her up. Maybe is that 4 souls? Yeah, I think that's 4 souls. I think 5's the lifesteal, but that's like a ramped up Morningstar. It gets 50% perfect block on every fight. Magneto just straight up out of the gate gets 50% perfect block against metal champs. Like that is so huge, man. That is it's amazing how strong that is, and it really comes in handy. So I think right here I was thinking I could get to an L3. I'm like, oh, I think I turned off the node, and then I lost my power. I was like, dang it, I was so close. But yeah, dude, like just against metal champions, it's just so crazy. And even against like non-metal matchups, he's not bad. Like he's still good. He can still get off some pretty crazy damage. He's still got his bleed resistance, his shock resistance. But a fun fact for you guys about Magneto's bleed and shock resistances: they only count towards debuffs. Because I saw on Twitter, and I only realized this like within this week, because I was really reading Magneto's abilities, because when I rank through a champ, I want to make sure I know exactly how they work, every little tiny detail about them. I want to know everything. When I take them to the highest level, and it's just 6-star awakening gem, which cost me 6,000 units. I want to make sure I'm playing this character to the best of my abilities, their abilities, and I know everything that's going on. So I was under the impression that he was bleed and shock resistant, just like period, but it's only to debuff effects. Because I saw someone tweet me, they were using Magneto on the EMP modification fight in Alliance War, and they died. And they're like, the shocks just did so much damage. And at the time, I was like, I didn't really know what was going on. I was just like, maybe he just had like a ton of shocks on him, and maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so he's not going to be an option for for EMP modification, unless it's a metal champ. Maybe you can turn it off. I'm not sure. Maybe you could gamble with that. But yeah, if it's bleed or shock passive effects, he has no resistance to those. So just be careful in those situations. Just a little tip if you watched. Maybe you knew that. Maybe you didn't. I didn't know it for a little while, but yeah, I do know. So yeah, that Green Goblin fight took a little bit longer than it should have. If I didn't get power drained, would have been faster. But we got 3 more fights here. The last 2 are my favorites. I saved them for last. This one is fairly cool. We got Punishing Angel. So she's got Mighty Charge and this weird no-hit Mercy node. But Magneto pretty much just shuts this node off, so you don't really have to worry for the most part. Yeah, Magneto shut it off. I was trying to practice Punisher's L1 decks in this fight, so you're going to see me trying. And I was doing it during my Legends run, but I kept messing it up here. You're going to see I get hit a couple of times. But again, having that awakened ability, you know, it's fine if I screw up and take a couple hits, because I know I'm not just going to die. Even if she like crits an insanely hard hit, there's a damage cap on it, which I really like, man. Really big fan of that. So yeah, we're going to build up to the special 3. You know, it depends on the matchup if you want to build to the special 3 or not. Usually it's gonna be the way to go, because if the opponent's metal and they're not bleed immune, the bleeds, you place a bleed for each prowess that you have on you, and if they're metal, the bleeds like do an insane amount of direct damage when they fall off. So like even when an L3 doesn't kill the opponent from just raw damage, usually the bleed will tick them down, and if that doesn't, when they expire, one big fat burst of bleed damage kills most opponents. If you build up to like 40 prowess effects, it just does so much damage. It's probably like 500k damage or something like that. Like it is nuts, dude. So here we're gonna drop the L3, crumple her, drop her, and you can see that did 226,000 damage, and then the bleed's ticking and she drops. Like it's just it's nutty, bro. It's nutty. It's so satisfying as well. So these next 2 fights are my favorite. So up first we have Weapon X, who he was actually really easy in the Legends run. I was a little bit worried about fighting him at first, but it went really well because I used Archangel. He has poison vulnerability, and Archangel just destroyed it. So here might as well make a little swap. Gonna bring in a Cyclops just for some synergies. And I have the Sabretooth synergy as well. And the Sabretooth synergy, what that does is it gives Magneto, when knocking down the opponent, he applies a heal block. However, if the opponent is metal, then he applies a heal block passive. So that's really neat, man. That heal block passive is super clutch. It could be used in a multitude of areas. Like for example, selective time stream could totally turn that off. And just having a heal block here, we're just not gonna have to worry about Weapon X's regeneration, because Magneto, what he does against metal champions is he turns regeneration effects off by 105%, so he actually reverses it by 5%. But Weapon X, he can't have his regeneration rate modified by anything other than poison. So I believe, yeah, you can see he's healing right here, but he doesn't have the heal block, so I believe that's why. So yeah, the heal block's nice to just alleviate that. So we got him through his Berserk phase, and yeah, here we're just gonna heavy charge, build up to 42 prowess. I'm like, all right, this should do the trick. Weapon X is 50% resistant to bleed, but the really cool thing about Magneto's bleeds is when they expire off metal champions, the shrapnel bleeds, they still deal a massive burst of damage. So you're gonna see he's taken only half the bleed damage he normally would take, but then he, boom, 187,000 direct bleed damage when they fall off. He's dead. Like, you can see 22 hits for that amount of damage. It's just ridiculous. Now, the next fight here is the last one. It's Arcus. So this was the boss I thought was the hardest in Act 7. So I'm going to go ahead and make Magneto a Horseman, because I didn't know if he could do this or not. I was a little uncertain. And I'm also going to throw on a mutant boost. So when I was doing this fight, I used a combination of Dr. Doom, and who was okay, just using special 2s, and Colossus. And I used a mutant power boost for Colossus as well. and it just really didn't work very well because Colossus didn't have any synergies or anything like that. So this does have Power Shield, and the reason why this vision is so hard is because you get like Power Drain for nullifying buffs, that sort of thing, so the usual Arcus counters don't really work. So I was thinking Magneto, you know, Power Shield, he's not, so this isn't a metal matchup as well, but you know, there's Power Shield, we get Prowess. I was thinking like this could maybe work, and that Mutant boost just to kind of help out a bit. Now, the bad thing here is that whenever Arcus throws a special attack, he applies, I believe it's an armor break and a heal block. And when you have an armor break and you're close to Arcus, you get Cold Snap. And that Cold Snap is doing quite a bit of damage here. You can see we're taking a lot of damage per tick. So like right at this point in the fight, I'm like, oh, I don't think I can do it. I'm dropping so fast. My original plan was to build to an L3. I'm like, I'm going to die before I get to an L3. I'm like, all right, I'm at 5 prowess. I can only get to 5 against non-middle champ. I'm like, all right, let's just throw the L2. We throw the L2, boom, 454,000 crit. Gives us enough power for a special 3. And we still, we got the prowess from the Horseman synergy, or from being a Horseman, and boom, got the special 3, and that Arcus drops. Even against a non-metal champ, dude. That was impressive. That fight impressed me the most. I was like, wow, dude. I wish I would have known that when I was doing my Legends run. I would have just used Magneto with a power boost, because that was pretty nuts. So, yeah, guys, this is already a 20-minute video. I hope you enjoyed the rank 3 Magneto and all the fights. I've been having a blast using him. I absolutely do not regret ranking him up or giving him the Awakening Gem. I used him a lot through Variant 6. He absolutely crushed it. I used him in the incursions recently as a Horseman. Did a great job as a Horseman. And it's great, man. He's my favorite mutant, and I think he's the best, like I've said already 5 times in this video. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed the gameplay, drop a like, and again, let me know in the comments what other fights you want to see me crush with this Magneto. And again, I can make him a Horseman, so we can make it even more crushing. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy. This puts me to now 7 rank 3 champions, which is pretty cool. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Later.